This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
Hola, everyone. It's T. Lacey from Shine by Mabukai, and today I'm taking over Still a Man podcast. Today, we are turning the tables and we are interviewing the creators of the podcast Still a Man, who are Mr. David Brewington and also Mr. Robert Brewington. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How exciting. How's everybody's day going?
Good.
So far, good.
Oh, that's great. Let's hop right in because I'm excited about this and we have a lot of questions and I want the audience to really get to know you guys and get to know exactly where this all came from and get to know you guys a little bit more personally. So my first question is, what is a man? Well, first we're going to do David. So what is a man? And what is Still a Man? I'm sorry, the podcast. And how did this idea even come about?
So Still a Man is a brainchild of mine that came about probably back in 2010. So it's been a project that's been sitting on the back burner for quite a while, waiting for the opportunity to bring it to life. So it's something that started out as a peer group for men, a support group of sorts. So we decided to take this to the internet, basically, and provide a forum, a platform for men to speak openly about issues that are day-to-day issues, things that trouble them, things that plague them, things that they need questions for. So we created an online support group, basically, which takes place every Tuesday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. So during this time, all of these men come together with a common goal, and that is to become empowered. So on the Still a Man podcast and the Still a Man brand per se, we use the strength-based approach. So we give people the tools to become strong individuals.
Definitely. Let's take it to Mr. Robert Brewington. I know that we absolutely love the intro to the podcast. So we want to know, how did that come about and your wording and how empowering that is to everyone, not just a man or a female. So how did that whole thing come about with your intro?
Well, I know that my brother wanted to do a Still a Man podcast. So I was doing brainstorming and I went to sleep one night and all I kept hearing is Jesus saying, get up. And if you don't get up, say it this way, say this like that. And he gave me the words. So I got up the next morning off my bed and immediately I started saying, I got to call my nephew. We have to do a recording of the intro before I forget what Jesus wanted me to say. And so we played around with it a couple of times and I got it right. I knew that the platform was a platform that was supposed to provide many different points of views that was going to empower people, uplift them, and make them want to go out and do right, as the intro says. And the chant Still a Man, Yes, I Am, it just all like mended together. It was something that it was a go. So at the end, I say, let's go.
We love that. We love that. No, definitely. I love the intro. And Timmy did a great job on it. You guys did a great job. With that being said, I know that, you mentioned that you wanted to empower men. What are some men in your life that are either a celebrity, friend, family, philosopher, or activist that, inspire you on your journey? Rob, you want to take off with what you just said?
Martin Luther King Jr., just his speech and what he have done or what he have tried to get done before his passing. I can say my dad, I can say my brothers, I can say a few of my uncles, and other like great men will be some of my friends' fathers. And just, in the work field, I came across a few men that inspired me to want to just do right.
Agreed. And David, what about you?
Well, I think before I even begin to pick out somebody that inspires me, they got to basically live up to my definition of what a man is. And my definition of what a man is an adult male who takes care of their responsibilities and doesn't make any excuses. So within saying that, my first example of an inspirational man was my father. And I say was because he's now gone on to glory. So that was my first example of what a man is supposed to be. And then the other men were my uncles. And then later on, other males that I came in contact at Morgan Memorial Fresh Air Camp throughout my early years in life. And then my friends, and of course my brothers, and even to present day, my nephews. They inspired me to do more, to do better, to be a better example for all men, young and old.
Agreed. And speaking of that, how would you describe yourself in one word? Since you did describe the definition of a man, how would you describe yourself in maybe 1 or 2 words?
So I'm a man with flaws. I'm a God-fearing man, but I want to be an example, a positive example to my peers and to young men everywhere. So if I could describe myself in 1 word, it would be inspirational.
That's a good one. And what about you, Rob? How would you describe yourself in 1 word? And what is your definition of a man?
My definition of a man would be someone that's strong, caring, and always there with a support for their loved ones and friends, or just strangers in general that might need that help. And to describe myself in 1 word, or maybe 2 words, I would say that I am a therapeutical rock that people lean on for just support, period, help, therapy.
That's a good one. A rock. I just had a whole podcast about the rock, but we don't want to go over there. We want to stay on track. So I love that part where you said I'm therapy. I'm like the rock. You can come to me. You can sit on me, lean on me. I'm here. That's great. And then, you guys have described the definition of yourselves, kind of, and then a little bit about just your definition of a man. Do you think in society we have a positive picture of what a man should or shouldn't be right now?
You want to take that for us, Rob?
Yeah, I'll take it. That can be tricky because it can be deceiving at times. What a man is to one might not be the same to others because there's all different types of men now in our time. And I know what a man growing up should and was supposed to be. But like I said, in this time and age, there's all different type of men. I go back to my father and my uncle raised me as a strong man. So I look towards that type of man. Whatever the trickery is right now for the person that holds that in their eye, what they see the man to be, that's what they see a man to be. I see a man to be what I was raised off of.
That's a good example. And how about you, Dave? I know you have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah. So this is a pet peeve of mine. I don't like the current depiction of men as a whole. uh, whereas society paints this picture that men are not something to be treasured, or there's no more patriarchs. We're undervalued. It's as if families can do without fathers. Communities can do without male direction. And this is a male-led world, whereas the males are the ones that are always out front. And I think the depiction of men is due largely, the poor depiction of men is due largely in part to the men that are currently seated at the helm. So we have poor leadership. So it reflects badly on the other men of the community. So I will give you an example. So a tribe is as strong as the chief, the person that's heading it up, and the people that go out, the males would go out and bring home the food and other things, and they would protect the women and the children. We haven't done well with that. So I think that we need to do better, whereas that's concerned. But it's just a poor depiction, and it's based upon the views of others. So I said to somebody, in the beginning, well, blank canvas. And so you can make that picture whatever you want to be, the artist. So if the artist's perception is based on their perspective, then, it's not going to be a good outlook. The end result is not going to be good at all. So I think we need to change the narrative first of how men are referred to, the definitions, and how people feel about the current man. And that way we'll change the depiction of how people see us. So I have these slogans. So I feel like attitude equals aptitude. If you think a certain way, you will behave a certain way. So we have to change the way we think about men as a whole, so that we will behave differently, more positively when dealing with the men. That's how I feel about it.
I agree. I also, what brought to mind for me was the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child." So I think that's really what hit home for me when you said that. What is something that we don't know about you by just looking at you, both of you guys? Let's start with Rob.
That's something you might not know about me by just looking. If you don't notice it, it would be my disability. It would be my vision, my eyes. I was born with RP. I don't want to pronounce the word wrong, but I think it's called retina pigmentosa, and it was passed down through the blood in my family. So we deal with a vision problem, and that's just something that you might not notice, but in today's time, you notice it more than you would have noticed it back when we was younger, because it's telling on our face when you look at us. We might have a blank stare, or might look beyond you, or it just look like we have a seeing problem.
Okay. And what about you, Dave?
So what Robert is referring to is something that myself, Robert, and my elder brother, we all share it, and an uncle and a cousin. So it's pronounced retinitis pigmentosa. So it's a hereditary eye disease, and it affects the males in the family. Unfortunately, it was something that plagued all of my mother's sons, but it helped shape us. We've dealt with adversity early on in life, so it helped shape us, prepare us to be the men that we currently are. And that's men that, we're not afraid to basically, as the youth say, get it out the mud. We will get down into the trenches and we'll do the work, and without no excuses, because my mother didn't raise us to focus on our disability. She raised us so that people will focus on our abilities as opposed to our disability.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
it's a hidden disability until you see myself utilizing the white cane that people with visual impairments often use. It's it's not a fashion accessory. It's a much needed.
Well, it still looks good. You can accessorize it.
Yeah. So at this point in life, like Robert said, it's something that's more apparent, but depends on the situation. But myself and some other men that I know, we say we make disability look sexy. So we are not grown and sexy at this point. We don't got no time to be worrying about childish things. So if this is something that I have to deal with, and it is something that I have to deal with, it's not gonna break me. It hasn't broken me, and it's not going to. God gives me my strength, and it's unwavering. So I try not to worry about that. In my younger years, I did worry about what was to become of me, but we here now, and the future looks bright. So
No, that's beautiful, because it doesn't hold you back. Can you tell us,
No.
since now we know these things, can you tell us some of your biggest achievements? And I mean, if you've had any hurdles with your disabilities or with anything that you guys have done. I know you guys have a nonprofit that's going very, very well, and you guys definitely target the youth. So can you tell us a couple of your biggest achievements?
My greatest achievement is my relationship with God. And then second, my children. I'm a father. So I take my responsibilities as a father very serious. I'm my children's first example of what a man is supposed to be. Other accomplishments consist of I'm a college graduate. I have a human service degree. I also have an early child education degree. I have a license in counseling and addiction. I have a director's license. So I have a lot of accolades. But like I said, some of my greatest achievements is being a father, being a good brother, and being a good son. And my current accomplishments is the one that we're working diligently on right now is the Still a Man podcast. And again, this is something that airs every Tuesday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, I have a brand by the same name. As you can see, I'm wearing the Still a Man product right now. I have the sweatshirt on. Well, it's actually a lightweight hooded t-shirt, long sleeve hooded t-shirt. And then I have the hat that says Still a Man on it. You can You can find all of these fashions at our online store, which is another one of our accomplishments, which is called Imperium Plus. And you can find that by typing in imperiumplus.org. And there you can see all our latest designs, old and new, where you can see You S.A.M and Still a Man, and so others. But I'm gonna let Robert tell you about the other designs that are featured in that store.
Yes.
You S.A.M is another one of my accomplishments. That's where I provide peer mentoring and counseling for youth in the surrounding cities of Boston. And if needed, where I'm called, that's where I go. So, it doesn't have any restrictions based upon city limits. If needed in the outskirts, I'll go there too. Also, we provide skills training and things of that nature. And the Still a Man brand also does that as well. It provides similar core services such as peer counseling, peer mentoring, skills training, advocacy, but it does it for the adult males. Well, I would say it does it for males of all ages, young and old.
Okay, but we have a little bit of everything to cater to everybody.
Yeah. So we're hard at work, and and I said, upon turning 50, I got to do something different with the next 50 years of my life. I mean, I plan on being around for a long time. So, I plan on doing the best with the time that I'm allotted. I feel like that I could be doing more. I want to be a positive example for all, like I said, young and old. But those are some of the things that we're currently working on, and we're it's proven to be quite successful. I think that we're like 7 episodes in or more. I mean, I'm not keeping track at this point. They tell me, what we're doing, and I show up. And my goal is to be successful each time out. And a lot of these things, it's like it's required, like the cooperation and participation of my family. So that's my backing. Like my foundation is my family structure. So my family comes out and supports me every step of the way. So it's been successful, and I'm looking forward to see what the future brings.
Definitely. Like we said, we got to go back to that village. It takes a village. It really does. It takes a community to really be supported. And Rob, what about you? What are your biggest achievements and any hurdles? We heard about the emporiumstore.org. What about you?
Like David said, my biggest achievement is my relationship with Jesus. Second, my family, my children, and I say children because I still consider my son here with me strongly in my heart, along with my daughter that's here, period, and human being. Um, and my relationships with my mom and just my brothers and sisters and the rest of my relatives and my friends. My biggest achievement outside those two would be, I can say, starting up an apparel brand called Adaptive Parish that my son was trying to get started before he lost his life in Boston, Massachusetts. I took over it like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks after we lost him, and I brought it to light. And then underneath that same umbrella, I started Envy Forever, which is a sister brand to Adoptive Parish. And then it went on to Ladies First, another addition underneath the umbrella of Adoptive Parish. Then we launched the I think it was the Envy event, which happened every year around December, where we give out survival awards and um, trophies to consumers that went through our program, Vision Picture Your Future, the nonprofit organization that I have. We give them trophies for driver's education, music, and fashion. We also do other things like advocacy, um, peer leadership. We give book grants out for college students. We deal with the disability. And as of lately, I've been helping the consumers find a summer job and etc. I can say launching the Emporium Plus store was another big smile on my face, another achievement that I felt proud of being able to be part of. Um, I have this saying that we all are here on a journey. You either adapt or you perish. There will
Mm,
people, there will be people along the way that I consider maybe haters, and they will be envy of you forever. And I just say you got to stay focused, keep your eyes on the bigger prize, have a vision, and picture your future. That's just a cheesy plug for all of my achievements.
wow. No, but it goes with everything. Everything has a slogan. I love that. Everything has its own little slogan. Speaking of which, since you guys have all these achievements, if you had the opportunity to go back in time and look in the mirror and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
You want to take that one first?
Repeat the question.
If you could go back in time, or if you could look in the mirror and look at and see your younger self, and you had the opportunity to have a conversation with your younger self, what would you say? Say it was 1 minute or 30 seconds. What would that conversation be?
It would go sort of like this. Self, you should have finished school when you had a chance. You should have stayed focused on many things. You should have made families that you had made children with work to the fullest. And you should have listened and learned in depth at a greater skill level where you can
Mm,
already be established in life further than what you are trying to become now.
mm, that's a good one. And what about you, Dave?
Um, I would tell young David to be patient. Um, you things come in time. God prepares you for uh, your next challenge in life. God is the author, the editor, the architect of all life. So he prepares your steps. So that road that you're going to travel, it's already been established. So he knows where every bump lies, where every turn begins and ends, as well as he knows where all the potholes are. So he knows where the walls are, every obstacle. So he'll get you through these things. He'll create a way because he's
Mm,
the only way. So and if I might, I'll say this to my brother. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't sell yourself short because again, God prepares you for things at his rate. So if you experience some hardship um, back when you first set out to do these things, it's God has a plan. So it's in his plan that things are coming together now. Let those be examples to others. Share those stories about your failures and your accomplishments. Let that be your testimony to others because we are an example, even if we choose not to be. We are all role models because someone is emulating your behavior. Even when
mm-hmm,
you're not paying attention, they are, young and old. So I would say, be of great faith and and
mm,
and just wait on the Lord because he's positioning you and others for greatness. So you have to be ready. So they say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So this is where you
yes.
are right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. I think who was it? It's not Megan Good. Someone else said that who's married to a basketball player. She said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So when they come for you, you're ready. So
Mhm.
I totally agree with that. I love that. And speaking of just staying ready and all these achievements that you guys have and just seeing everything that has come to play in the past couple months with the clothing brands and even not even in the couple months because it's really Euporium that came to play in this online presence. Where do you guys see yourself with business and with this podcast in the future? And are there any other endeavors that you'd like to speak on?
I want the Still a Man brand to become a household name, as well as S.A.M and any other projects that I have my hand in. The podcast, I want this to be synonymous with, when you think about success, I want you to think about the Still a Man podcast in any of my endeavors. You know, I don't set out to fail. You know, that's never my intentions. I always see things as I'm going to be successful. If I'm able to provide services to one person or 100 individuals, that's how my success is leveled. That's how you level. That's how you basically measure success, I should say. But yeah, I feel like that Emporium, this is like the beginning. Like, things are changing. Like, at some point, no one's going to visit stores like the way they shop online, because people are currently doing that. So why not go ahead and jump on the bus right now? You know, when you're taking a journey, you're riding the bus, everybody has a destination. So, you know, I'll get off that bus when it comes to my destination. So right now, that's something that we're doing, but we plan on being a mainstay. You know, it's not something that we plan on. We're not abandoning this project or this goal by no means. So I plan on setting this in place so that it can create generational wealth, so that my children, my nieces and my nephews have something to work towards. So they will inherit, you know, this accomplishment as opposed to a debt that I leave behind. Now, we're not doing any of that. We're going to position them to be great as well. So if it's my intentions to become great, then my goal after I'm no longer here in the physical form is for my children and my family to be greater than what I was.
So put them in position. Put them in position. Yeah. That's what we need to do as a community. Start putting, you know, everybody in position, because we're not going to be here forever, like you said. But it's great to create generational wealth, financial literacy, all the things that you guys offer with your nonprofits and your businesses. You know, just really giving our community information, education, push. You know, we all need a push. So I totally agree with that. What about you, Rob? Where do you see yourself going with your businesses, this podcast, or any other future endeavors you're thinking about? You have anything cooking in the pot? I know you and I have our, you know, our conversations about gardens, and, you know, so tell us more about that.
I have talked to you about many things. Garden's one of them. We talked about getting a community garden where the youth, maybe outside my nonprofit company, would be able to experience planting seeds and watching them grow into vegetables and fruit, and where we can have a table set up for them to taste their fruits and vegetables, either it being eating it raw or preparing it by being cooked in front of them, and giving them ideas how to cook this vegetable or serve it up in a tasty way. And also having like a greenhouse where we can have the kids go in and out of it, but not just utilizing it for the vegetable growing and fruit growing. We can have them probably change into warm-up suits and do exercises early in the morning right there on the platform in the garden that we're trying to provide for them. It was just something to motivate children to get up early in the morning, eat healthy, and learn about the garden life. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've got to get them to just get back to thinking positive about their health.
And get back to
And
the roots. A lot of our
yes,
roots. It gets
yes.
back to that. Yeah, I
And
agree.
we talked about doing like a fair where the children can come together and benefit from that on a joyful fun day, while moms can sit off to the side and enjoy their self painting and sipping on something tasty for them, either it be juice or wine. While we have peer leaders dealing with their children on that day. There's many things that we have discussed that I would like to bring to light. I also have a vision of having a group of children going out into the woods for a weekend or at least 5 days with mom and dad. Even if it's just mom, we'll take them out there and I'll have peer leaders, counselors, so on, help us on that little, which we would call it the envy experience, for the inner
Mm.
city children to get out there and experience something different outside their city. Just learning about how to survive outdoors, how to really, live that type of life for a couple of days. With my nonprofit and with my apparel, Fresh Apparel, I would like one day for it to really be recognized as a household household brand of clothing that everybody around the world can gravitate to, put it on, feel good. It feels good. I get quality clothing, so when you do put it on, you can say, that feels lovely on me. I definitely do want to compare myself one day to the top name brands. I won't plug any top name brands because it's all about our brands right now, and it's our time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
My avatar avatar does say a diamond in the rough will be
Mm-hmm.
dusted off and shining pretty soon. The future is brightening up for us. I do see greater things and our path on our journey. I definitely want to say my nonprofit. I want that to become bigger than life. I want to be able to touch many consumers. I want to be able to hear them say, Vision, PYF, helped us get our driver's education on, helped us create fashion, my own um, logo, my own name brand for clothes. They also helped us create music and get it out there on platforms where we can be heard like other um, rappers or singers. I definitely want those things to happen. I want to be able to help them and mentoring them, just being there therapeutical, that we can find jobs for them on a greater scale. Like I always say, something doing a lot more than what we're able to do right now. That consists of many grants and funding to come into the organization. But in time, I see that happening too. The Envy event, I want that to go global because we do more than just pass out awards for for the consumers that graduated out of our programs and vision. We we do more than just pass out plaques, survival plaques for family that lost somebody inside Boston, Massachusetts. We provide you with entertainment that night, where that showcase upcoming local talent that's inside Boston. We provide food for that evening. We provide raffle gifts. We provide apparel for you to buy, and it's basically overall like a greet and meet, a social platform where you can come together as one and get to know your neighbor or your brother or your sister.
See, again, I feel like that he's being modest because there's even more that he didn't mention. So, you have the toys. This
Oh,
year, we will
definitely.
provide, toys for
Mm-hmm.
children
Can I just say
Like,
this? This is why he's my partner. So whatever I forget, he bounces right in on it. Feel free.
That's what brothers are for. My brother's keeper.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
so Vision, in collaboration with S.A.M and Josh Young of ABC, we was able to coordinate services and provide toys and other items for these children during Christmas. It was very rewarding to see the smiles on these children and parents' faces. In some situations, some of these children, these might be the only gifts that they receive for Christmas due to environmental factors, and due to the fact that the parents do not have the financial means to provide them with gifts. So that means a lot, to me, that I can be a part of that. And, Vision collaborates a lot with S.A.M. Those are the two brands, the two entities that we work with that's always out front. Those are the ones, they lead the charge. So again, right now, and probably for the unforeseeable future, that is something, each of those brands, each of those entities are governed by family. It is the hard work, the effort, and the time of our family members, including ourselves, that go into running those events and those programs and those businesses. I mean, right now, I have one of our nephews is the individual behind the camera that and my other nephew, they basically they run the Still a Man podcast. They make sure that things are on time. They make sure the cameras are right. They make sure the microphones is right. They're scheduling the meetings and stuff. We have a lot of family support from our immediate circle. So they are a part of our success. So again, when we talk about the future, the only future I see is them running these businesses and being successful. And that's what I see. I mean, my goal is to, again, I want to prepare them for greatness. And so in order to do so, we have to be the necessary example. We need to bring about the necessary change. We need to influence them. We need to have more of an influence on the youth at our knees, at our footstool, so to speak. We need to provide the positive tutelage that is needed out here. Society should not be that have that type of impact on your children. You need to be that influence. You have to become that driving force. Otherwise, someone else is going to raise your children. Someone else is going to be that example for them. And it's not always good.
I do want to say this too. I want to give a shout out to the D. Lewis Brown Peace Institution. They still play a great deal. I see them once a year and helping Vision's bank account due to grant funding they provide. They also help for the Envy event. I want to say this year we was fortunate enough to have had Old Navy come on board and clothe people at that event too. Outside our friends and our family donating what they did also. So we do appreciate everyone. We love you guys for all your doings and dealings.
So if you're going to go ahead and plug them, don't forget to tell about Erica, and don't forget to tell about Drizzy. So you done started. Go ahead, finish it.
All right, we got another brand that's affiliated. It's called Envy Inc. That is it's like what is he calling it? It's spiritual feel goods, where you can get the candles, you can get the soap, you can get the sage, the trays, the necklace that got a lot of different meanings when you put it on and how it makes you feel. It's just Envy Inc. If you type it in, you'll probably be able to search her up and find her goods. There's Trench Baby clothing line. He was there at the Envy event with jogging suits and stuff. There was 9-5 Phil Entertainment that was in the house with T-shirts. There also was I think I covered all the extra vendors that was there.
Little Rod.
Oh, and thanks to the heavens of the man behind the camera and that was playing the music that put together a lovely video package that you can find on Vision. Picture Your Future Facebook page. You might want to go up there and watch the video and get more familiar about 2021's the Envy event, annual Envy event. So you can see that up there on that up on that page.
So again, all of these things, all of these entities, they can stand alone. But right now, Emporium Plus is the root of everything. It's a tree and all of these branches. So if we're going to talk about all those, we got to talk about a new branch that's sprouting. And it's called Mabukai and Baby, shameless plug. We have to acknowledge his brand because
we're working on it. That's why we're doing this. We're collabing right now.
He's doing great things, and we have something in the works for Mother's Day. We're gonna come together and we're gonna bless the ladies. So stay tuned. And you guys, again, she's doing great things as well. So you guys got to make sure you check out her podcast, especially this one. And she co-hosts on another platform, so she can tell you about those. And Tanasia, you want to tell them about those?
Oh yeah, definitely. So we all kind of collaborate with each other. So I want to put out that hopefully by end of year or by summertime, before the kids go back to school, we'll have some inspirational books. We'll have some minority books that will come in different languages. We're thinking maybe English and Spanish first. Which is great because that's a collab with everybody. And Mabukai and Baby, Mabukai is really just for self-care and mindfulness. We have our Shine podcast. We have Mindful Mondays with our mantras. I also team up with Sierra the Juice on the Juicy podcast, which is a little bit more explicit for our ladies and gentlemen as well. If you want to tune in, it's a little bit more explicit and more adult. And then we have Baby, which is just an organic line of Montessori toys, Montessori learning with the wood toys. And we want to get away from the toxins in all of our kids' toys because it does make up about, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 78%. It's a very large percent. So we want to get out of that and get our children into, more strategic learning and motor skills. So thank you guys, for putting me on for that. And I know we have the books that are coming out too. We're all collabing together. We're all feeding off of each other. And I think this is where Still a Man, for me personally, has definitely taught me a lot. The definition of a man. One of my favorite episodes was the definition of a man and the definition of a woman. Speaking of which, does anybody have a favorite episode since I just said that? That was a good question.
For me, I like them all. So right now, I can't say I have a favorite because I think we haven't even shown them our best yet. The best is yet to come. So I can't say that I have a favorite at this point. All of those episodes, they are must-see TV. You have to tune in. If you think that you've been getting good entertainment and you're empowered, people are helping you make informed decisions by watching reality TV and other podcasts, you ain't seen nothing until you seen our podcast. So we got a little bit of everything. It's great. It's and I'm not just tooting my own horn, but I'm telling you, it's must see. You have to tune in.
I agree. And Rob, what do you think people should take away from, through listening to this podcast, since you're a little quiet over there?
I think that when you do listen to the podcast, you should be able to walk away with a good feeling of saying to yourself this right here. If I didn't take anything away from the questions that he was asking, I can take something from everyone's answer that they provided. And it will strengthen you or make you into a person that you might not already have been. I think it will better you. It will help you deal, which I say cope with a lot of other things that's going on in your life, because you're learning. It's like an educational podcast. There's many different points of views being shared. So it should do exactly what the intro says. You should leave with something. You should want to leave feeling good and go out and do right in this world.
I agree. And you, David, any last words you want to tell us about what you want people to walk away with, or anything else that you'd like to tell us about any other future endeavors or lasting words?
So again, for the youth, I would say to them, you guys are the future. You are going to be the ones to lead this world. We are going to count on you. So you guys are going to take us in the direction in which you feel like the world needs to go. So you guys are going to become the pilots of the ship. So for the adults, we have to make sure we provide you guys with the tools so that we can feel comfortable with you guys leading. And I would say this to the current leaders. Do not be afraid to step aside and let those that are, eager to lead and more trustworthy and more worthy of the position of leadership. A great leader recognizes the team's strengths and weaknesses. So you got to know when to lead and when to follow. And I said this to you guys a while back. The view never changes when you're walking behind someone. The view only changes when you dare to step out from behind them. And then you can see everything that's going on around you and what lies ahead of you. So I just feel like that it's my goal, it's my responsibility to, lead and follow those that can provide leadership. But at the same time, I want to make sure that, again, I'm a source of inspiration to others. I want God to be proud of me most of all. Right. So that when my days finish here on earth, I want him to say, "Well done, my son." So I want to please him first, man second, God first. But again, my goal is, like I said, to be an inspiration as well as an example. And again, I'm still my children's first example of what a man is supposed to be. So it is never my intentions to fail them at all. So I take that responsibility seriously. So that's where I am.
No, those are great lasting words. That was great. Rob, do you have any lasting words for us?
I'll sum it up real quick. I have this saying, and I hope everyone takes it and utilize it. I would like men, women, children of all ages, meaning boy or girl, if you can do this one thing, reach one, teach one.
Reach one, teach one. No, that's awesome. No, that's great. That's a good lasting word for everybody to really think on. I hope you guys are thinking too when you're listening. I hope you're thinking. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, my name is T. Lacey from Shine by Mabukai. We'll have everything linked at the bottom. Mr. David Brewington, thank you so much. And Robert Brewington. Tell us how we can find you guys, how we can support and donate one at a time.
All right. For Vision, you can log on to Vision PYF, Facebook.com. If you want to donate anything to the nonprofit organization, leave an inbox address to Robert or Aisha. And I will also tell you, you can reach us at an email address, visionpyf@gmail.com. You can also tune into Adaptive Parish Facebook page. And if you feel that you're interested in any of the clothing or just want to leave a comment or ask a question, hit the inbox on that. Or you can also go over to emporiumplus.org and find the latest fashions. Or if you just want to leave a comment or some type of reviews, ask any questions. We're open to answer them. Love you guys. God bless.
Yes. And Dave, how do we find you?
Okay, so you can just type me in on Facebook, David Brewington, /U Serum, and Still a Man. So on there, you'll find out who I am, what I do, what services I provide, and who do I provide the services to. Also, again, if you haven't checked out our online store, Imperium Plus, just type in imperiumplus.org. And for the Still a Man podcast, you can tune in every Tuesday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You just go onto my Facebook page and it will have a link. And if you want to watch any of our previous episodes, just log into YouTube and type in S.A.M. Still a Man podcast, and you can watch all of the old and new episodes. They're all up there. Also, you can hear the podcast on audio now because we are also linked with Spotify, so and Anchor. So anybody that subscribes to Anchor, you can hear our podcast on all of those platforms that Anchor provides as well. And I will say this to you guys. This is the Man in the Mirror segment. So in the words of Michael Jackson, make that change, make that necessary change. Start with the man in the mirror. And I am the man in the mirror. I like what I see. So, but every day I feel like that I can make improvements, and that's what I'm doing. God bless you all.
Yes, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss any of our next episodes. Ladies, tune in because we have something juicy for you this weekend. So don't forget to check out everybody's Facebook page. Thank you guys and stay shining. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.